Clock, we're at 19 degrees with mainly sunny skies over downtown Winnipeg. Good afternoon. I'm Matt Humphrey. There are some new faces and some expanded jobs in Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's new cabinet.
I, Indira Anita Anand, do solemnly and sincerely promise and swear that I will truly and faithfully and to the best of my skill and knowledge execute the powers and trusts reposed in me as Minister of Transport and Internal Trade.
Anita Anand will stay on as Minister of Transport and add Internal Trade, while Jeanette Petitpas-Taylor takes over from Anand as President of the Treasury Board. Stephen McKinnon will add Employment Minister to his role as Labour Minister, while Gary Anandasangari will add Northern Affairs to his existing role as Minister of Crown Indigenous Relations. There will also be 8 new faces in Cabinet, including Ottawa MP David McGuinty as Minister of Public Safety, and Toronto MP Nate Erskine-Smith becomes Minister of Housing, Infrastructure and Communities. Meanwhile, Winnipeg South MP Terry Duguid is now the minister responsible for Sport and Prairies Economic Development Canada.
I, Terry Gordon Duguid, do solemnly and sincerely promise and swear that I will truly and faithfully, and to the best of my skill and knowledge, execute the powers and trusts reposed in me as Minister of Sport and Minister responsible for Prairies Economic Development Canada.
That's Duguid taking the oath at Rideau Hall earlier this morning during the cabinet shuffle. He takes over for the Prairies Economic Development portfolio from St. Boniface MP Dan Van Daal, a former Winnipeg City Councillor. Van Daal has said he will not be running in the next federal election. Duguid is the only Manitoba Liberal in cabinet. The shuffle comes after Chrystia Freeland's sudden resignation as finance minister. And Trudeau needed to fill vacancies left by Liberals who have left or don't plan to run in the next federal election. All this comes as the Prime Minister is under increasing pressure to step down as party leader. Meanwhile, Jagmeet Singh says the NDP will vote to bring down the Trudeau government. The federal NDP leader says he'll table a motion of non-confidence in the next sitting of the House of Commons. That's scheduled to begin on January 27th. Earlier this week, Singh said Trudeau should resign, but would not say if he'd bring down the government if he stayed. In Toronto, shots were fired at a Jewish elementary school for the 3rd time this year. While the school's executive director, Nachum Sossover, is glad no one was hurt, he's also defiant.
We won't be deterred. We're here. As we see even today, we opened up. We're here to stay. And this is a message just a week before the holiday of Hanukkah, with the message that light will prevail over darkness. And we hope that we'll see that very soon. The
shooting's being investigated as a hate crime. It comes days after a Montreal synagogue was targeted in an alleged firebombing. And in Washington, D.C., Republicans are trying again to avert a government shutdown at midnight. The move comes after 2 attempts to pass a spending bill failed. Richard Madden has the latest on the shutdown showdown.
We're expecting votes this morning, so y'all stay tuned. We got a plan.
House Speaker Mike Johnson will soon unveil his 3rd attempt to keep the government open after his last 2 spending bills were spiked by his own party and leadership. His first bipartisan deal imploded after incoming President Donald Trump and billionaire Elon Musk tapped to oversee government spending, ordered Republicans to scrap it. Last night, the second scaled-back plan crafted to appease Trump's demands was also defeated. Democrats say it cut too much, while more than 3 dozen hardline conservatives objected to Trump's push to raise the debt limit. Democrat Hakeem Jeffries.
Extreme MAGA Republicans are marching America to a painful government shutdown that will crash the economy and hurt working-class Americans.
A shutdown would prevent the government from paying its bills, including paychecks to nearly 1 million federal workers just before the start of the holiday season. Richard Madden, CBC News, Washington.
And meanwhile, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump is now adding the European Union to his list of tariff targets. He's threatening to impose tariffs on European imports unless the EU buys more American oil and gas. In a social media post, Trump says the EU has to make up for what he calls, quote, its tremendous trade imbalance with the United States. In other news, sirens were heard across Kyiv this morning as the Ukrainian capital was hit by a barrage of Russian missiles. Kyiv's mayor says 1 person was killed and at least 7 people were wounded in the blasts. The morning rush hour attack also sparked fires, which damaged a number of buildings. And a fierce snowstorm is expected to descend on Atlantic Canada this evening. Mainland Nova Scotia can expect between 15 and 30 centimeters of snow and blustery conditions that'll make travel difficult. PEI and southeastern New Brunswick both expected to get up to 15 centimeters, and western Newfoundland and southern Labrador will get up to 30 centimeters, and winds gusting to 100 kilometers an hour. That's happening this evening. This afternoon in Manitoba, a mix of sun and cloud in Winnipeg, and a high around minus 18 with a wind chill in Winnipeg. Brandon cloudy, a high of minus 12 with wind from the southeast. Dauphin mainly cloudy, a high of minus 15. Flin Flon mainly sunny, wind chill, a high of minus 22. Thompson sunny, a high of minus 23. And in Churchill, a high of minus 23 degrees.
Good afternoon and welcome to Radio Noon. I'm Laurie Hoogstraten. It's Friday, December the 20th. It's minus 19 degrees out there. It sounds like busy times in Ottawa still. But here on Radio Noon today, I want to let you know, because it's Friday, on our call-in today, it's Christmas story time. From gifts that might poke your eye out to the gift you never got or never forgot. We want to hear about Christmas presents of days gone by. Give me and Mike Hewen of Mike's General Store a call after the 12:30 news, 204-780-0893. And we're going to hear about the benefits of being both merry and melancholy in terms of Christmas music. But first up, we go live to a Winnipeg shelter where hundreds of people are about to share in a holiday meal. A warm meal with community. Right now, about 700 people experiencing homelessness and poverty will come together for a Christmas lunch. It's being served up at Siloam Mission in Winnipeg this hour. CBC community reporter Channelie Vidal joins us live from the Siloam Mission now. Hi, Channelie.
Hi, Laurie. Yes, it is very bustling here right now. Volunteers are lining up to bring plates of food to community members who are sitting at tables. Right behind me are plates of amazing desserts, pies with whipped cream on them. There's juice that looks delicious. The Grinch is walking around. I saw Cindy Lou Who. Everyone is in the holiday spirit. And I am joined by Siloam Mission CEO Tessa Blakey Whitecloud. Hi, Tessa.
Hi.
So there is so much food going on. There's so much activity. Tell me what's on the menu.
Yeah, so we have kind of the full Christmas meal. So we've got turkey dinner, we've got stuffing, we've got the mash, we've got the veg, we've got coleslaw, you name it. And the pies and the buns are all made from the Hutterite community, and you can hear them singing in the background. We've got a full choir in the space. So just really trying to make this a celebration.
Tell me about the work that went to put on all of this and prepare all this. It took a time, and I understand there's a lot of donations too that went into this.
Yeah, so tons of the food today was donated, and we're just so grateful. And actually, we start preparing for this meal more than 2 months in advance. So basically, we serve Thanksgiving and we start preparing for Christmas because we're expecting close to 700 plates to go out today for this meal alone. Never mind that we've already served breakfast and we'll be serving dinner because we serve 3 meals a day every day. But making today's special is really important. And so normally we send out placemats for our donors who are making a contribution to make today's meal possible to send back with that donation. And of course, because of the changes in mail delivery that can happen, Laura Secord School stepped up. They drew 420 placemats for us so that we could still make sure that individual care went into every setting. And that's super important and just really exciting. And so, yeah, it's all coming together anyway, and it's a bit of a Christmas miracle given the givens.
And like you said, there could be 700 people sitting down for a meal today. What kind of impact does an event like this have on the community?
I think it's just super important as we're all celebrating Christmas and people are having that opportunity to do that we recognize that people with the family that they've chosen or the family that they're in, maybe experiencing homelessness together, experiencing food insecurity, that they still have that opportunity to partake in that holiday season. So this meal is a huge part of that. And Santa's coming to the shelter, so there'll be gifts for folks that are staying in our shelter later, and that'll be really valuable too.
Now, it is a wonderful thing, but it's also bittersweet, the fact that it's such a needed thing, right? And it is cold out there. Can you tell me a little bit about what you've been seeing in terms of need here at Siloam Mission?
Yeah, so it's interesting. Our shelter's actually been beyond capacity for the last 18 months, which is rare. Normally we have a bit of a slowdown in the summer, but as you say, that need is expanding. We just opened our winter night overnight warming space. We saw 71 people the first night we were open. So we know that the need is bigger than what the sector can typically provide, and we're partnering with our sector partners to figure out how do we grow into meeting that need as a Band-Aid solution in this moment, in the cold winter, but also how do we plan that long-term trajectory to have the housing online so that this isn't needed in the same way. So we can get together and still celebrate and have a beautiful meal, but people are coming to it from their housing for community as opposed to that actual basic necessity need, right? And that's that long-term vision.
And Siloam Mission recently received an emergency donation for the warming shelter from the Winnipeg Foundation. What would you have done if that didn't come through?
It was a really hard choice. We're already in a deficit with the cost of food going up, with the Canada Post mail slowdown. Donations aren't coming in the way they normally do. So we couldn't make the choice to just say, we'll just run it and go further into a deficit, because everything else we do is also important. And so the Winnipeg Foundation stepping in meant we could get that online this week. 71 people the first night, even more last night, had a safe place to be. And so we're just so grateful to the Winnipeg Foundation for caring so much about community and making that possible for us as we wait for dollars that are supposed to come from the federal government to make that possible. So we're still expecting other funders to come to the table, but they were like, well, the need is now. And so we're just so grateful that they acted.
And you said the unfortunate thing is it's a wonderful service, but the fact that there is a service, that it is needed, right? What do you think needs to be done to help eliminate the need for things like this?
I could go on, we could do a whole special. But I think that a big piece of it is to make sure that we're doing all of the prevention work we can, so less people end up experiencing homelessness, and then that we're really meeting people with those alternatives. So Winnipeg has only 3 social housing units for every 20 low-income people. Regina has 8, Calgary has 9. So ultimately there's just a housing stock issue, especially affordable housing stock and supports. And so those are kind of 2 pieces of the puzzle. How do we make sure that homelessness doesn't happen on the front end by making sure those support systems catch people before they end up here? And then how do we build the housing to help people move on from here?
And for people who might be listening or watching us on YouTube, how can they help out, either through time, financially, or through items? What are you in need of?
We are in need of anything that's a winter gear item right now. We're in need all the time of new underwear and clean socks. Those can be gently used. We always need toiletry items, all the way from toothbrushes to feminine hygiene products. People can donate, of course, at siloam.ca. They can sign up to volunteer at siloam.ca. And you can do that with a group. I actually just volunteered myself with my basketball team and all the kids associated with the team, and it was super fun. There's a lot of ways to get engaged. But I think a big piece of it is also just to challenge the stigma and the narrative around homelessness. People experiencing homelessness normally have experienced a lot of trauma and hurt. And so they're people that need our love and affection and our care, not our judgment.
Tessa, thank you so much for taking time out of the busy Christmas lunch to speak with me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for being here and highlighting this. It's going to be a beautiful day.
Tessa Blakey-Whitecloud is CEO of Siloam Mission. They're having their Christmas lunch here today. Back to studio.
Thank you very much, Shanalee. That was CBC Manitoba community reporter Shanalee Vidal at Siloam Mission for the shelter's annual Christmas holiday meal.
The customer you have reached,
Radio Noon,
is not available. Please leave your message at the tone.
Hello, this is Santa Claus. Just calling you back to say that I talked to the elves, and yes, they will let me take some calls from the good girls and boys of Manitoba on Radio Noon Christmas Eve from 12:30 to 1 p.m. Looking forward to it, so please don't hold any calls.
Santa Claus is coming to Radio Noon Christmas Eve from 12:30 to 1. Get those questions and Christmas wishes ready and dial 204-780-0893 for your chance to talk to Santa.
Oh, yes, Santa on Christmas Eve. And I hope Santa's listening, because coming up on Radio Noon this afternoon, our call-in is about your Christmas gift stories, best or worst present you ever got or gave. And we really want to hear also about the ones you didn't get, that you're still hoping for, that maybe Santa can bring you. So let us know those stories, 204-780-0893, about Christmas present from the past. And also, in just a minute, there's a reason for sad Christmas music, and we're going to tell you about it. We kind of like to wallow in it. It feels good. We're going to find out why that is. And taking a look at Riley's forecast, Friday, mainly sunny, highs of minus 18. Tonight, down to minus 22. Saturday is mainly cloudy, but it starts getting warmer starting on Saturday. On Sunday, minus 7. On Monday, minus 8. Tuesday, Christmas Eve, including Santa on Radio Noon, highs of minus 3. On Christmas Day, minus 2. And a little further ahead on Boxing Day, minus 1 for running around with all those boxes or having boxing matches or whatever it is you're supposed to do on Boxing Day. And looking ahead to Friday, all the way to 0. Seems strange, but there it is. Brandon right now, minus 24. In Churchill, it's minus 27. Dauphin and the Paw, both minus 26. Gimli, minus 23. In Thompson, it's minus 29. Winnipeg, minus 19. 1 degree to go for the high today. It is 16 minutes after 12 o'clock. You're listening to Radio Noon. I'm Laurie Hoogstraten. You're at 89.3 FM, 990 AM. Well, 'tis the season for Christmas music, whether you like it or not. But there's a niche category of holiday tunes, rarely played at parties or in the mall, that are meant to make listeners feel less than merry. CBC's Chloe Friesen explains.
I love Christmas. Always have, always will. The glistening lights, the generous gift-giving, the joy-filled memories.
Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year.
But when it comes to Christmas music,
if there'll be snow.
I, Chloe Friesen, Christmas cheer aficionado, am obsessed with sad Christmas songs. They're my go-to during December. Playlist titles include Melancholy Christmas, Sad Girl Christmas, and All I Want for Christmas is Sad Christmas Music. And they all include this one song in particular.
It's coming on Christmas, they're cutting down trees, they're putting up reindeer and singing songs of joy and peace. Oh, I wish I had a river I could skate away on.
River by the one and only Joni Mitchell from her iconic 1971 album, Blue. It's one of the most heart-wrenching Christmas songs, nay, songs of all time. And it doesn't make sense. I love the holidays. I'm very happy right now. So why do I gravitate towards sad songs like River in December?
Well, she quotes a Christmas Carol right off the top.
Right.
Hey!
Neil Weisensell is a composer and professor of music at Canadian Mennonite University here in Winnipeg. He's also a big Joni Mitchell fan, so I invited him to help me figure this out.
Also, lyrics. They're cutting down trees and singing songs of joy and peace, right?
It starts positive.
Well, yeah, maybe she's not so crazy about the cutting down trees part.
Right.
This is the gal that wrote the song about Paradise in the Parking Lot, right?
So hard to handle. I'm selfish and I'm sad. Now I gone and lost the best baby that I ever had. Oh, I wish I had a river I could skate away on.
Have you ever skated on a river?
I have.
And it goes on forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you can just disappear. And there's a little bit of an element of danger because you're not sure if you're going to fall through the ice.
Ooh.
It's not like I don't think it's a super relaxing experience. It's more a little bit of a daredevil going in there.
So, a bit of an escape.
Yeah, definitely. So those are the few of the things that go through my mind.
Why do you think sad Christmas music works or exists?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, it's very dark. It's very cold right now. That's kind of part of it. You know, we're being told that we need to be happy and we need to be told that we need to buy stuff for our friends and family. And so there's a little bit of pressure that we feel from capitalism. And everybody's supposed to be happy. And if you're not happy, it's like, well, you know, A, you feel bad. B, you feel bad that you feel bad. So when there's songs that resonate with people and songs that can reflect the kind of stuff that you're feeling that affects you in a way that maybe we're not all aware of. Like, I'm a nerd, so I'm listening to chord progressions and melodies and that kind of stuff. So one of the songs that you sent me, when she said the word happy, there was a minor chord.
It's meant to be the happy time of year.
I sent Neil a short playlist of some of my favorite sad Christmas songs. On the list is a cover of Merle Haggard's If We Make It Through December by Phoebe Bridgers.
Wow, like that kind of subliminal thing. If you're a nerd like me, you'll understand what she's doing. But for most people, it's just like, oh, something happened there. There was a mood change, even on that one word, especially on the word happy. So those are some of the things that I notice.
Everything's gonna be alright, I know. It's the coldest time of winter.
So, there's a few reasons I like sad Christmas songs. And I'm definitely not alone in my obsession. Just type in Sad Christmas on any streaming service. And the proof is in the sad Christmas pudding.
Did I make you cry on Christmas Day? Did I let you down like every other day?
But could it be possible that I'm spending too much time under the melancholy mistletoe?
Well, I think, that's a good question. Yeah, how much is too much?
Dr. Maggie Penfold is a registered clinical psychologist. She has a special interest in how the holiday season affects our thoughts and feelings.
I definitely wouldn't say it's unhealthy. Sad music generally, I think, speaks to the full range of human experiences that we'll have. It lets us, in a way, approach difficult life experiences, difficult emotional experiences in a way like it's at a little bit of a psychological distance. Even though it's supposed to be the most joyous time of year, we might notice there are some Christmas songs that we find more comforting than others. And I think, just for me personally, I do find some of the sadder ones a bit more comforting.
That's good. That makes me feel much better about my sad Christmas music obsession.
Yeah, you're not alone. No, I do. I hear that from a number of different people. They really love their sad Christmas songs and more generally sad music. There's a lot of really fantastic music out there that if you really sit down and listen to the lyrics, it's quite sad. It's quite heartbreaking. Mm-hmm. And yet we love it.
You'll be doing all right with your Christmas white, but I have a blue Christmas.
For CBC Radio, I'm Chloe Friesen.
Oh, thanks, Chloe. Very enjoyable. And let's play a little more. Well, it doesn't come under the comforting category, and it's pretty sad, but it's got some great energy from 1988. You know this one, The Pogues' Fairy Tale of New York.
It was Christmas Eve, babe, in the drunk tank. An old man said to me, won't see another one. And then he sang a song, the rare old mountain tune. I turned my face away and dreamed about you. Got on a lucky one, came in 18 to 1. I've got a feeling this year's for me and you. So happy Christmas, I love you, baby. I can see a better time when all our dreams come true.
They got cars big as bars, they got rivers of gold, but the windows right through you, it's no place for the old. When you first took my hand on a cold Christmas
receive. You promised me Broadway was waiting for me. You were handsome.
You were pretty queen of New York City. When the band finished playing, they held out for more.
Sinatra was swinging, all the junk they were singing. We kissed on the corner, then danced through the night. The boys of the NYPD choir were singing, Go Away Babe, and the bells were ringing out for Christmas Day.
Lying there almost dead on a dripping night bed.
You scumbag, you maggot, you cheap lousy faggot. Happy Christmas, you're ours, I pray God it's our love.
The boys of the NYPD choir still singing Go Away Babe, and the bells are ringing out for Christmas Day. Could have been someone.
Well, so could anyone. You took my dreams from me when I first found you.
I kept them with me, babe. I put them with my own. Can't make it all alone. I built my dreams around you. The boys of the NYPD choir still singing, and the bells are ringing out for Christmas Day.
Well, as Dylan Longhurst, our technical director and a musical kind of guy, pointed out, that song is, of course, really sad, and then it sounds really happy. But is it really, really happy? It's kind of both, but it has some nice energy to it. That was the Pogues with Fairy Tale of New York.
Ready, Santa! Enjoy this festive season.
You coming? Why, to the North Pole, of course!
Enjoy the magic.
Happy birthday!
Hilarity.
I triple dog dare you!
We're all in for a very big treat.
Enjoy the excitement.
Tremendous, gargantuan, spectacular!
And wonder.
From the moment I met you, it's been an adventure.
Enjoy the holidays. Watch free on CBC Gem.
Manitoba's the kind of place that draws you in. Every day it's growing, it's changing. Just when you think you've got it figured out, though, there's something new to understand. I'm Marcy Marcuso, host of the CBC Daily Podcast. This is Manitoba. I've covered the news from the rail line in Churchill to the border in Emerson, and it's talking about the local stories that help us understand this place. That's what This is Manitoba is all about. Find it on CBC Listen or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
You're listening to CBC Radio Noon, 89.3 FM, 990 AM. I'm Laurie Hoogstraten. And joining me after the 12:30 news is Mike Hewen, formerly of Mike's General Store. He's a collectibles and antique expert. And we want you to call us with your stories of Christmas presents from the past, if that's not too confusing. We want to hear about the gift you never got, or the gift that changed your life, or the present you gave somebody. Give us a call, 204-780-0893. And Mike will come in with like toys and movie suggestions and so on from yesteryear. And it's just amazing how you know, you can still get like Mr. Potato Head and Slinkies. And one of the top things this year is Barbie's Dream House. I wanted Barbie's Dream House. How can this be happening? Give us a call, 204-780-0893 with your stories of Christmas presents. The news is next.
This is CBC News. At 12:30, we're at 18 degrees with mainly sunny skies over downtown Winnipeg. Good afternoon, I'm Matt Humphrey. It's official, Winnipeg South MP Terry Dogood is now a federal Liberal cabinet minister. He's taking over as minister responsible for Sport and Prairies Economic Development Canada. And he takes over the portfolio from St. Boniface MP and former Winnipeg City Councillor colleague Dan Van Daal. Van Daal has announced he will not be running in the next federal election. Dogood is the only Manitoba Liberal in cabinet. He's among 8 new faces in that revamped Trudeau cabinet. It was a big shuffle. A dozen Liberals are either getting new roles or entering cabinet for the first time, and it comes as the Prime Minister faces increasing calls for him to resign. David Thurton has more.
I, Indira Anita Anand, do solemnly and sincerely promise.
Several ministers are staying put, but with some changes to their portfolios. Anita Anand keeps transport and adds internal trade, while Jeanette Petitpas-Taylor takes over for Anand as president of the Treasury Board. Gary Ananda Sangari holds on to Crown Indigenous Relations but adds Northern Affairs. Labour Minister Stephen McKinnon also has an additional but similar job, Minister of Employment Workforce Development. 8 new ministers are entering federal cabinet.
I, Nathaniel Erskine-Smith, do declare.
Nathaniel Erskine-Smith goes to Housing and David McGinty to Public Safety. Rachel Bendayan serves in official languages and Elizabeth Briere will be the Minister of National Revenue. Darren Fisher heads to Veterans Affairs. Ruby Sahota leads Democratic Institutions and Joanne Thompson becomes the Minister for Seniors. David Thurton, CBC News, Ottawa.
Meanwhile, federal NDP leader Jagmeet Singh says his party will now vote to bring down the Trudeau government. The leader says he'll table a motion of non-confidence in the next sitting of the House of Commons. That's slated to begin January 27th. Earlier this week, Singh had said Trudeau should resign, but didn't say whether he'd bring down the government if Trudeau stayed. And now we have an answer. And finally, police are investigating an overnight shooting at a Toronto Jewish school. No one was injured, but this is the 3rd shooting at the school this year. A 17-year-old boy and 20-year-old man were arrested in connection with one of the previous shootings. The incident comes a day after a synagogue in Montreal was the target of a firebomb attack. And that is your CBC News from Winnipeg. For news anytime, you can head to our website, cbc.ca/Manitoba, or you can use the CBC News app.
Thanks very much, Matt. Matt, have you got a sec?
Of course. For you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Mike Hewen's in the studio with me now because
Hi, Mike.
our call-in is about either the Christmas gift that you remember forever or the one you never got and you're still hoping for. Have you got anything that was really memorable for you?
That I never got. World peace. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I knew you'd say that. No,
I wasn't that altruistic a kid.
Really?
No, I always got everything I wanted.
Oh, you were
My
a spoiled
parents
kid.
were very giving and caring. And not that parents who don't, not that, you know what I mean.
I know.
But I was a lucky kid.
I see.
I was a lucky kid.
And what kind of things did you ask for, though?
The regular, just Legos and video games. Nothing of substance. Actually, if we have time, there was this one year when I wanted a specific video game.
Yeah.
Banjo-Tooie was what it was called. It was
Banjo-Tooie.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's the
yes,
sequel
the
to
old-
Banjo-Kazooie.
Or not Banjo-One-y.
No, exactly. It was the second one. Anyways, I really wanted that game. It was a hot commodity, hot ticket item.
Yeah.
And I know that my father scoured the province for it to get it. And he couldn't. And I would get updates throughout the month of December being like, it's really not probably going to happen. Like, I'm really sorry. Up until Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And I was devastated because I was a spoiled kid.
Yeah.
And what was under the tree for me on Christmas morning?
It wasn't?
No,
Or
it was. It was.
Oh, it was.
He had found it.
Oh, he was toying with you.
Oh, no. Apparently, he got it at the 11th hour.
Aw.
Like it just happened to be at the Zellers or whatever. Remember Zellers?
Yeah,
It just
I do.
happened to be there.
I think it's back, but yes.
And yeah, that was a really happy memory for me, actually.
Yeah, and those spoiled kids, it's hard to find the happy memories because you're
That's
just
true.
happy all the
You
time.
can't spoil a kid.
I agree. I
perhaps
agree.
overindulge.
Somewhat,
Yes.
perhaps. Yes, it's made you what you are today.
Yes, and I'm better for it.
You are. Thank
All
you,
right,
Matt.
back soon.
All right, that's Matt Humphrey with the news. And Riley's in the studio now because we had a little time. Hi, Riley. So, same question. Did you have a memorable gift or non-gift?
Probably the year we got a karaoke machine.
Okay.
Probably annoyed my parents, but we had a lot of fun with it.
What was your big number?
I don't know, probably something Shania Twain.
How probably.
When I was that young.
Oh, that sounds great. All right. Would you like to sing a few bars of the weather for us? Or?
Well, another cold one today, Lori.
Yeah.
Another cold one out there. Minus 20. There's no other way to put it. Although we are starting to see that cold lift a little bit, so we'll get into some above seasonal conditions through the weekend here. Minus 22 in Brandon right now. Dauphin's at minus 24. Thompson sitting at minus 28. Right now, mostly sunny in Winnipeg. A bit of cloud out there. A bit more cloud back to the west, into the Westman region, the Riding Mountain region, seeing a little bit more cloud than we are in Winnipeg at the moment. Mostly sunny through northern Manitoba. Expect clouds in the west today. A few clouds in the Winnipeg region, but other than that, kind of what you see is what you get for the rest of the afternoon. We do get a little bit of cloud building in through the overnight hours. Clouds will feature as we get through the next several days in the province. Along with that comes a fairly good chance of some scattered, isolated flurries across the province overnight into the early morning tomorrow. So could see a few snowflakes here and there through the morning, maybe into the early afternoon for Winnipeg. But this is mainly an overnight event into Saturday morning. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies. Sunday, setting up to be another mostly cloudy day. A few sunny breaks. Maybe in the afternoon, but overall, we're looking at clouds sticking around for the weekend. Looking at a minus 18 high in Winnipeg today, mix of sun and clouds across the south, minus 17 in Morden Winkler, minus 18 in Brandon, and a chance we could see a few flurries through Verdun and Melita this afternoon, minus 26 in Thompson under a partly cloudy sky. As mentioned, clouds feature through the weekend, minus 9 tomorrow in Winnipeg, minus 7 for Sunday, looking at a minus 8 for Monday. Christmas Eve, minus 3, south winds 20 gusting to 40 with a mix of sun and, well, mostly clouds with some peaks of sunshine. And again, peaks of sunshine on Christmas Day. We're looking at a high of minus 2.
That sounds wonderful.
There you go.
Yeah, thanks very much, Riley.
You're welcome. See you next week.
All right, that's Riley Lachuk, weather specialist. You can hear him this afternoon on Up to Speed or see him on TV at CBC News at 6.
Santa baby, a 54 convertible to light blue. I'll wait up for you, dear Santa baby, so hurry down the chimney tonight.
Well, in that song, Eartha Kitt hopes Santa Baby will deliver a 54 convertible, light blue, a platinum mind, a yacht. That's not a lot, she says, among many other things. And I wonder how many showed up under the tree that year with decorations by Tiffany. On our call-in today, it's all about Christmas presents. The gift, not the ghost, including the Christmas present you never got. Or maybe it's the gift you never expected, but have never forgotten. Are you still waiting for your Barbie dream house? Luckily, believe it or not, it's still a top toy for 2024. Or maybe you longed for the latest Hot Wheels set back in the day. Don't despair. It, too, is still a top toy. So we want you to tell us about the best gift you ever got or gave in your whole life. Was there a book under the tree that turned you into a reader? A tech toy that turned you into a nerd? Call us with your Christmas stories. The toy, the game, or the truly memorable nasty pair of socks. Joining me today is Mike Hugh, an antiques and collectibles expert, to jog our memories and tell some seasonal stories. And he's brought some items that would fit nicely into Santa's sack. Hi, Mike.
Hello there.
So, Christmas is upon us yet again. And you've been in this collectibles business for a long time. So what are some of the toys or gifts, like Barbie's Dream House and the Slinky,
you know what?
that have never
there's-
gone?
There's so many of them. In business for 45 years, there's always December. Generally, women would come in looking for the gift for their husband that they never got.
Oh.
Or the gift that they had
Yeah.
that they loved that has long since disappeared. So,
Right.
I mean, everything from like for the girls, it was all Barbie and the accessories. I mean, a lot of the girls had Barbies, but they wanted that dream house or the Barbie
Sure.
car. For a lot of guys, I mean, I was 10 years old when Hot Wheels came out, and I had lots of Hot Wheels, but I wanted all the accessories, the racetracks and the
Yep.
superchargers. And, with every generation, you find that, I think in the movie A Christmas Story, I mean, it's the Red Ryder BB gun.
Oh, yeah.
You
Please
know?
may I have a gun for Christmas? No.
Exactly. And
Even his mom said in the movie, I think, what is it? You
You're gonna
poke
shoot your eye
shoot
out.
your eye out.
You're going to shoot your eye out. And, you think of Tickle Me Elmo. I remember when that craze hit, I was cutting out the ads in the free press and sticking them inside a book just for prosperity to look back and think how crazy this is,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
So Cabbage Patch dolls. I mean, my kids who are now in their mid-30s, I mean, they ran around the house with Ghostbuster backpacks on. So nostalgia for toys especially follows each generation.
And we're going to get our listeners to give us a call, I hope, 204-780-893. And what do you remember or long for? And it doesn't have to be from long ago. It can be something fairly current, if there is such a thing. 204-780-0893. And we have Maxine on the line. Hi, Maxine.
Hi.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, I was also like Matt Humphrey, where my parents were very generous. I will admit that. And in the mid-1970s, I got a Mrs. Beasley doll.
Oh,
Mrs.
yes.
From the Archie comics?
No.
No?
Mrs. Beasley,
No.
that was Family Affair.
Oh, Family Fair. Oh, I missed that one.
And
but
then,
yeah.
and then so she had little girl had this little doll.
Yeah.
This doll. She looked like a little granny. and
Yes, she had little wire glasses.
little wire glasses that you could kind of take off. And she was made of cloth, and all stuffy. She was so cute.
Aw. Do you still have
And
it?
I don't. I still have it. I don't know where it is.
Actually, they're
Maybe
quite hard to find.
Oh.
I've sold maybe about 20 of them over the years, and that's not a lot considering it's not really that old. 1970s, not that far. Well, I guess it depends on how old you are. I rephrase that.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Shirley. Maxine, sorry, that's really kicked off our conversation well. Thanks so much.
Okay, Merry Christmas.
Same to you. Let's stay on the phone lines for a minute, Mike. We'll go to Shirley, who's on the line. Hi.
Hi there. Hi. Okay, so my story is, I'm 48.
Mhm.
So when I was a kid in the early 80s, we lived in, like a development, like co-op type thing, like townhouses.
Right.
And there was a girl, I was 7 or 8, who was 12. I thought, oh my gosh, she's so old. She's so cool. And she had toys on her front porch, and she would let us play with them. And then I didn't realize, but her parents were divorced, and she went to move with her dad. And so her mom said, because there was 4 of us already in my family, and I was the oldest at 8, she gave them to my parents. And so my parents set the living room up. They didn't bother wrapping everything. They set the living room up like a toy store.
Oh, my goodness.
And they had already bought us, 2 girls, 2 boys, matching like dresses and like clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So they hung them on like a broom. I remember the broom still had its bottom. And they set up the living room like a store. And I still remember that, the generosity of that mom and that 12-year-old. And maybe she'd grown out of it, but still the generosity.
Oh, yeah.
And then the way my parents were so creative with it. I tell everybody, they set it up like a store. It was a store. We woke up in the
Amazing.
morning and there was a store in our living room.
You could shop for your gifts. That's fantastic.
Santa
Yeah.
really came through.
Oh, thanks very much for that, Shirley. A great story
Thank
to
you.
hear. And we want to hear more stories like that of things you got or kindnesses that people showed you at this season. 204-780-0893. Let's get in on the conversation, but let's just stay with phone lines for a minute now. We have Rennie on the line. Hi, Rennie.
Yes, hi. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have two very delightful stories about gifts that I received. My late father-in-law was a very creative man. And the first gift he gave me for the first Christmas when I was married was he had gone to Texaco gas stations. Do you remember the Texaco stores?
Mm-hmm.
And he collected an entire china set for me over the course of 1 year.
Oh.
Everything, salt and pepper, gravy boats, everything. And he gave that to me on my first Christmas into the new family. And he was as proud as can be for doing that. But the more creative one was the next year.
I'm curious, is it a white plate with
just
like little blue flowers almost on it?
That's
Like
it,
leaves?
blue and silver.
We had those.
Oh, did
My
you?
dad did the same thing. He went to Texaco and my mom's dinner set became that.
And,
What a
you know,
memory.
I still have that today, actually. It's a lovely set, and it's lasted all this time. So every time we take it out during the season, we think of Pop. But the second thing was even more creative. Everybody was opening their gifts around the tree, and he disappeared down into the basement and came up with a very unusually wrapped gift, and put it under the tree and handed it to me, and it was freezing cold. And I thought, what the heck? Anyways, I opened it up, and it was a chicken roaster with a frozen chicken inside. Well, thanks for the opportunity, and we miss him dearly and his creativity. But thanks, and season's greetings, everyone.
Oh, thanks very much, Rennie, for the call. That's lovely. You can call us too, 204-780-0893, and give us your Christmas memories, perhaps attached to a gift that you got or gave or that you're still hoping for. You never know. There's lots of things out that are still around, and lots of amazing toys that I think if you told me what the toys were for 2024, in fact, I was looking them up, and some of them I was like totally baffled by. But let's return to the phone lines where we have Ed. Hi, Ed.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, my name is Ed.
Yes.
And I remember a gift that I bought for my parents. It was the bubble lights.
Is that like a lava lamp? Or no?
Christmas bubble
No,
lights
it's
that
a
would
set
go,
of
they'd
Christmas
screw
tree
into
lights.
yeah.
I'm sure Mike would know them.
Oh yeah, no, they're about 3 or 4 inches high, and they got the big base with a light bulb
they're
in it. You
they're
screw
a
'em in.
collector's item now.
Oh yeah, definitely, and they just work
And
like a lava
we
lamp.
have
They bubble.
in our family bought for everybody in the family since then, and carry these bubble lights, but they're damn hard to get now.
Well, they do make new ones,
especially the original ones.
Oh, the original ones
you can
are hard
get
to
cheap ones now that are made of cheap plastic, and they're not very good. But that's a tradition that we've carried on for, I don't know, I'm 80 years old.
Gee, wow.
At least 50 years.
Those are vintage. Yeah.
So we've carried these bubble lights. Like I said, it started out with me buying a set for my parents many, many years ago.
Yeah.
And it's carried on, and we keep trying to find them. I don't know. I don't think. Do you have any in your store, Mike? The original.
No, you know
one?
what? We've retired from the shop. I just set up at shows.
I
but
know.
You know, if you check around at the different shops or shows, they do sell out this time of year. Like myself, I would save all my Christmas stuff to bring out in mid to late November, and stuff like bubble lamps and lights and the hand-blown Christmas ornaments. They would always sell quickly. So it's a thing you have to go out and anxiously look for them to find them.
I know they're hard to find now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You can find
the new
ones
sets.
that are
Yeah, the ones not so new. Well, that turned into a wonderful tradition for your family for many years, Ed.
It has been.
Oh, well, thank you very much for the call.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye. Happy holidays. Join the conversation, 204-780-0893, and tell us your best Christmas memories of unwrapping something under the tree or giving something to someone else or unwrapping something under the tree and going, what is that? You just never know about these things.
Frozen chicken.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the frozen chicken. I was right away. I hope they just slipped that in under the tree right away, or the gift you didn't want to get when you ate the chicken a little too soon later. So Mike, you were talking about how you would save all your kind of Christmas kind of things for Christmas time, and they would go really fast. So what stands out in your mind in terms of records or movies or games that were the big gets or still are maybe?
I mean, there's so many things. Like I say, it follows all of our generations. So, one of the big toys that I wanted as a kid was a Johnny 7 gun. It was 7 guns in one. It was like a Rambo-style plastic gun. I mean, it was so ridiculous.
My God.
Some kid down the street got one. And it was like we wouldn't play guns with him anymore because his was too big.
He had 7.
But the thing with it was such a poorly made toy that the ones I've had over the years, they're almost always damaged because they're just made completely out of plastic.
Right.
And like I say, different people have come into the store over the years and says, like I said, they're trying to find something specifically that somebody had to replace, like a Mrs. Beasley doll, or something that they always wanted to have, like the Johnny 7 gun they never got for Christmas.
Yeah. Wow. Well, let's go back to the phone lines. We've got Lynn on the line. Hi, Lynn.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good.
My story is more about a gift of something that you can treasure throughout the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I was about 11 or 12 years old, and I was sent down to the store to go get something for the family, like milk or bread or whatever, and I found this little small wrap present lying on the ground along the way. So I picked it up, and I looked around, and there was nobody else there. So I put it in my pocket, and I thought, I have something here. Went to the store, got the stuff, came home, didn't tell anybody about it, and I unwrapped it myself up in my room, and it was a beautiful pair of little tiny earrings.
Oh.
And when I look back on it now, they were pretty expensive, I'm sure. And I thought to myself, do I keep them? Do I give them to my mom? What do I do with this? And the thought came to me that it's probably a gift intended for somebody else. So back in those days, the only way we had to advertise that something was lost or found was to put it in the newspaper or put it on the radio.
Right.
So we did that. I asked my parents about it, and they said, yes, we're doing the right thing. And I put it, and it ended up being kind of an engagement present for a newlywed, about to be newlywed people. It was for his fiance, anyways.
So you did find his home.
And he was so thankful that we returned it that he ended up giving me $20 for finding it as a reward. And then I was able to turn that $20 into gifts for my family.
Wow. Well, then I find that so interesting because you say you found it, you didn't tell anybody, you unwrapped it and looked at it. You were only 11 years old, but you did the right thing.
Yeah, and that's the sort of thing that when you're a child at that age and you realize that taking the easy way out to get quick reward is sometimes, and most often, not the best way to do things.
Yeah.
It's to do the right thing, and eventually goodness will come your way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. A really heartfelt and heartwarming story. It was. I'm so glad you called, Lynn.
Yeah, well, thank you for allowing me to share that story.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Okay.
That was Lynn, and you can tell us your holiday story, whether it's as heartwarming as that or just something where you're still bitter about, because as I tell Santa every year, waiting for the pony.
The pony.
Haven't seen the pony under the tree. Every year I complain about this on the radio, and I still haven't got it.
Goodness.
I don't know what I would do if
Maybe
I
you
got
got
it.
My Little Pony.
Well, yeah, my daughter had My Little Pony. That thing shed all over the house with its long hair and the tail. Like, oh my God. Yeah. Well, you just because we've got a minute here. What have you brought with you there, Mike?
You know what? I just thought
a
a few
vintage
things.
stores?
I mean, you got the holiday Barbie dolls. I mean, those started in 1988 and they still go today.
Yeah.
And when our daughters were really young, got them a holiday Barbie every year.
Mm-hmm.
One daughter ripped it open, started playing with it. The other one wanted to leave it in the box.
Really? Her father's daughter.
It was quite comical. I mean, the Ghostbusters ambulance and the Ghost. I mean, that's such nostalgia for me with my kids growing up. We're talking about earlier. Same with the big Ninja Turtles, and then the big Frankenstein model kit there, Aurora. I mean, that was the coolest model kit back in the 60s. I remember looking. I think it was. either the Eaton's or the Sears catalog, and you'd circle the stuff that you wanted, and then kind of leave it open or a bookmark on the kitchen table so your parents would see it. Even the Consumers Distributing catalog, it just came to my mind. I mean, we had a Consumers Distributing nearby.
Yeah, I think I remember those, yeah.
So, those were all influences to children because you go through the catalog and what was there. And whatever all the other kids wanted, you wanted to have the same, obviously.
Mm-hmm. And you find now, I was saying earlier that I was looking through the toys that they still make, like Mr. Potato Head and Slinky and all that. I don't know if that's just like grandparents giving them to children. Children are like, what is that?
I took a photo of a giant Rubik's Cube display at Walmart yesterday because it's just so cool looking.
And kids are still using them. Yeah. I think in the 1890s, that's when Crayola crayons came out.
Is that when they started?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I don't remember that.
You can still get some Crayola crayons. Monopoly, 1930.
Yes, I know that.
Yeah, people
It wasn't
play Monopoly.
originally Parker Brothers, though.
Oh, wasn't it?
No, it was a private game that sold to Parker Brothers.
Well, and also what I read about it was originally invented as a game that protested capitalism. It was to show the nasty side of capitalism.
That part I didn't know.
And people thought, money, let's do it. And they sort of marketed it in the other direction. And it's been, going on ever since. Easy bake ovens, which you can still get.
Oh, yes.
I got an easy bake oven way back in the day, and it's that battery's not included kind of a thing. So it came with little cake mixes and little pans. It was fabulous, but we couldn't bake it because we didn't have the batteries.
Raw
so we just
cookie
mixed
dough.
it up and ate it. Yep.
You know what we didn't talk
You
about?
can still kind of take it.
Star Wars.
Yes.
I mean, 1977 was huge, and if you go out today, there's still aisles of Star Wars toys out there. It just hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
I mean, that's been a big phenomena. Like I say, from the late 70s right through until today, and it spans multiple generations now.
And Pokemon cards?
Oh, I know my kids are crazy for
Well, I know now. I know. It's
Magic.
amazing. Yeah. Well, I'm just looking at here, the VTech Go-Go Smart Wheels Hot Wheels track set came out in 1968. You can still get it, or that's a top toy this year. And Barbie's Dreamhouse, 75 plus pieces.
For the Barbie Dreamhouse?
This year.
Oh.
2024, still going strong. The Barbie Dreamhouse I had until my sister broke
that was the
sliding
cardboard
glass
one?
windows. Well, the ones with the sort of sliding glass things.
Oh, okay.
Well, and then there was the Barbie car.
Yes, I've had the car.
Yeah, and those things are still very, very popular.
No, you know what? Barbie's just span all generations in the same way, and Barbie, well, I'm giving away my age now, 1958.
Wow.
Was the first year she came out, so I'm 66. That's the year I was born. But
Yeah. You didn't get a Barbie?
I didn't get a Barbie.
Oh,
No, I didn't want
I did.
G.I. Joes. I mean, that was another big thing, the big 12-inch, the boy
Sure.
dolls, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it brings back nostalgia for whatever reason it is. If it just gives you that little bit of warm, fuzzy feeling for a moment when life was simple, it's worth every penny.
Well, and we had those wonderful stories today. So thank you very much, Mike, for
Thank
coming
you for
in
having
and
me.
being part of our call-in and bringing the great stuff. Always lovely to talk to you. Merry Christmas. Happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas. Thank you.
Santa baby forgot to mention one little thing, a ring. I don't mean on the phone, Santa baby, so hurry down the chimney tonight. Hurry down the chimney tonight. Hurry.
Well, tonight, Santa Baby down the chimney. Santa Baby will be here, well, not down the chimney, but coming through the door on Tuesday for our call-in. But that's then. This is now, and I'm joined by up-to-speed host Faith Fundal. Hello.
Hello, Lori. We're going to talk about gifts as well. One gift to the opposition, the federal opposition parties. No way to escape a vote of non-confidence. We'll hear from a constitutional law expert about why he thinks, quote, the Grim Reaper is knocking on the door.
Oh.
More on how the federal Liberal government may fall. And a gift for a Winnipeg banjo player. Not only did they get to speak with Steve Martin, the comedian, they also won several $1,000s in a competition.
Well, Steve Martin, the comedian, and also the amazing banjo player. Just incredible. Wow.
It's going to be fun.
Sounds very good. Between the Grim Reaper and Steve Martin, that's quite the arc in radio there,
It's going to be
Faith.
fun.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Thank you.
You're listening to Radio Noon, and we'll talk to you again on Monday. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.